everyone. Welcome to Off Road. I cannot believe it's season 3 already.
It's crazy, man. I can't believe it either.
Andrea Cataneo, co-host 2 seasons in a row. Now it's 3. Cannot believe it. We've
It's
gotten
unreal how quickly the time goes by and how much is happening in the world and on Wall Street. And I don't think we ever run out of things to talk about, Frank.
I've even 2 seasons top 10 Wall Street podcast.
And
Cannot believe it.
congratulations.
Thanks,
Cannot
Emily
believe it.
Foshee. Emily Foshee, Executive Director of the National Investment Banking Association. Frank, you were going to say a little something about NIBA.
It's funny because we haven't spoken about it yet, but I know we're going to be going to NIBA this year, which, if anybody doesn't know, it's the National Investment Banking Association meeting. They do it twice a year. They used to do it a little bit more. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's going to be really good. We're going to be doing some off-road interviews. We're going to have a booth. It's going to be a lot of fun. And joining us today is Emily Foshee. Okay, and she's the executive director from the National Investment Banking
For a few
Association.
years now, I might add. Emily is so
Yeah.
modest.
I actually did the math, Andrea, and it's 26.
Wow.
Whoa, amazing. And
know.
how is that possible when you're only 29?
I know, right?
Ah,
I think about that quite often too. I couldn't believe it. So I decided to actually do the math.
if anybody doesn't know, Emily is one of the key connectors behind the scenes of small cap and growth company finance. If you're raising capital, meeting bankers, or navigating the deal world, NIBA is where those relationships happen. And Emily's right in the middle of it. Emily, great to have you off road.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited to familiarize people with NIBA.
It's awesome. And Andrea, you've talked about NIBA on the show for the last couple of years now as well. You're
Yeah,
pretty
there's
popular.
really
You're on the
nothing
board. Aren't
like it. There,
She's
there is
one
there,
of
being in
our
the microcap space as long as I have, and Emily will tell you about the history. There's just something really special about this not for profit 501c6 organization of close to 9,000 people that really enables connections to be made in such a favorable way that really looks after the entrepreneur. But over to you, Emily. And I know Frank has some really great questions for you. So let's hear from Emily.
Yeah.
Just again, happy to be here. Andrea is one of our illustrious volunteer board members. She works so hard. She is very well respected. She's one of our most vocal, wonderful advocates in this space, and we're so lucky to have her.
Aw,
And
thanks.
again, NIBA has been around for going on almost 50 years. As she said, we actually are the only industry nonprofit association in this space, if you will. And we're the only not for profit and actually one of the oldest associations. We're very proud of that, proud of how long we've been around. It's a great, wonderful organization. And as you said, if you are really navigating, doing anything in this space, you need to be at NIBA. You just do.
Now, for people that may not know you yet, what is your role inside NIBA and what are some of the things that you're focusing on building right now?
My role in NIBA is everything.
That is for sure.
Literally everything. I was laughing this morning because multitasking, etc. But we again, not for profit, very small. I'm creating social media posts at the same time I'm sending out sponsorship information at the same time I'm calling people to attend, etc. So you name it, I'm doing it. That's how it's been. Happy to do that. NIBA, again, has been around for almost 50 years. This is our 152nd conference.
Oh,
As you
my.
said, we used to do them more often. We used to do them about 4 times a year. And then we went to 2 times a year because, frankly, everything's just very saturated and there's lots of things going on. And we do try to get the best time value for everyone involved, from the companies that are presenting to the sponsors to the attendees. We're trying to get them the biggest bang for their buck for the time. So we've gone to 2 conferences, which has been hugely successful. They've all sold out early and they are in demand, and we're very happy about that. And so we're just really looking to grow. I run into people all the time that haven't heard about us, aren't familiar with us. And I would like everybody to know about NIBA, to know what we're doing, because I feel like, especially for the nonprofit part of it, we're just trying to put people together. If you're interested in, the finance side, the buy side, then you need to know who the presenters and sponsors are. If you are one of these micro cap companies, you need to meet the people in our audience. So we're just trying
Yeah.
to facilitate connections.
And it's so different, Emily. And I just emphasize this so much when I talk to the companies that like to have awareness, media awareness, and
Yes.
have non-deal roadshows, etc. But tell us a bit about really what distinguishes NIBA from all of the others. And we talk about this a lot, but we'd love to hear it from you.
And you can speak to this too. I just think that we again try to reach out to everyone. We're extremely affordable. The buy side, we invite for free to attend.
Which is really generous. But you know what I'm thinking about? What I love so much, Emily, is the full room that these presenters get.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't see that anywhere. I don't want to name the conference. I was at a fantastic conference with you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And that's the norm, where presenters are in a small room and you're not sure how many folks are going to show up. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 3.
I know. I actually got a little bit of anxiety, as I told you.
As did I.
I really do think there's a reason for all conferences. I'm never going to say anything bad about anybody's conference, because these companies in our space, in the nano microcap space, need all the help they can get.
They do.
But I actually showed you. I said I finally just took pictures and put them on my phone, because years and years ago, NIBA had a different format where we had many companies and we had 4 or 5 rooms going on at the same time. And it just became obvious that, again, like basically any other conference, like what you're talking about, these companies go and they're presenting and they paid and they're trying to get their story across, and they're in a room, like you said, they're lucky if they have 20 people. 20 people looks huge. I counted and looked, and some of them have 3. We talked to people who had 3, and that just hurts my heart, because we had that situation. And what we did, because we're a membership association as well, is we went back and did many surveys, etc., and found that the companies so much want a return on their investment, a decent return on their investment. But our members, the people in the audience, actually said, when we have 50, 60 companies and multiple rooms going on at the same time, many of them said, I go home with all these cards, but I don't know who I talk to.
Yeah.
I can't put a face with a name, and I'm not sure who I talk to. And I think I wanted to talk to these people, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
So
you nailed it. It's so much more relationship nurturing, encouraging. You just have opportunities to really talk with people.
Yeah. And so we really took a hard look at the format and feel like we came up with the perfect storm of a 10-minute formal presentation to the entire group. There's not 3 people, there's not 20 people, there's usually 200 people in that room. So you're making a formal presentation to the entire audience. You are the focus, it's one track. And then we have numerous opportunities for one-on-one meetings in our one-on-one room. And they also have a booth table space. So you could be a company that comes with your laptop and sits down and does all your meetings, or you can have, depending on what you do, you can have an elaborate booth display that people can come up and look at everything. And we feel like we have the perfect storm of a formal presentation, one-on-one meetings, and then lots of wonderful networking events. And so it has just created with 400 plus people in attendance, it's a large conference.
Yeah.
That's a very intimate feel.
That's so a great way to describe it, because, and we did have, I think, over 400 people register last time,
We did.
which was a lot, but it still has that intimate feel.
Yeah, since COVID, our numbers have just gone up and up. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get the word out and just make sure that if you're in this space, you've got the opportunity to present, although we have very limited spots. So, you need to jump on that. But if you're in the audience per se, you need to be here. You just need to be here. You need to see it. You need to experience. Every almost everybody, literally everybody that experiences talks about how wonderful it is and wants to come back. We've got repeat presenters, we've got repeat sponsors, repeat attendees. We're just trying to reach people who don't know about us.
And it's
You know,
just a
Frank and
great,
I
you know,
talk a lot.
from having been to them, it's just a great vibe.
Yeah.
It's
And,
a
and
fantastic
again,
vibe of like-minded people.
Yeah.
it
We
is.
talk.
And I think you'll be, because you haven't been there in a while, there's been other things going on, but you're going to be blown away, Frank. You really will. You'll be like, oh
Really,
my
I
gosh, what's
can't
happening?
wait. What makes you excited about this year's conference program?
We're almost full with presenting companies. I only have a few spots left, and we've got some great companies. And I'm also excited because I have talked to Jim Hawk, who's the chairman of the board of directors. He had numerous companies last time. I've talked to several IR firms that had numerous clients last time, and we only take up to 30 presenting companies. And literally, just from talking to people at the last conference, and I found out more this past week, but literally, well over half of those companies got financing,
Wow.
literally since our September conference.
There are so many things that I want to talk to you about off-road, like off-camera off-road,
Yep.
but it has a lot to do with that. So that'll be good. When somebody comes, what kind of people, for the people that don't know, and from the audience that we have, what kind of people do you expect at the conference?
The companies are both public and private, so you're going to have a mix of those. In the audience, you're going to have investment bankers, private equity, boutique finance, family offices, high net worth investors. I'm probably forgetting all the quote buzzwords that fall into that buy side category. But then
Tech writers.
Yes, that's what that's what they want. That's what everybody wants is check writers. Come and help these companies out. And then our quote sponsors, we have some service providers that are in the auditing, accounting, legal, stock transfer. I'm trying to think of IPO readiness. I'm trying to think of all the categories. Basically, if it is in the micro cap capital market, small cap area, we want it covered. If that applies to you at all, you need to be there.
Yeah.
I just want to mention there's something that we chatted about when we were together about how we not only serve the microcap space, but also private companies and companies that are well beyond microcap, that are much bigger. And
Yep.
the term, I guess we have to be careful. I'm starting to be more conscious of using that term because you don't want to have the private companies think this is not a place for them, because it's a wonderful place for private companies to meet all of those categories of investors, check writers, and all of the service providers that bring so much value. But also the bigger companies. Like we have huge companies, like big board companies that have sometimes gotten their start at NIBA that come back. And it's just an eclectic mix. And before I turn it back over to you, Emily, something that really I know makes us so unusual is many investment banking firms do a conference themselves.
Correct.
And they don't encourage attendance from other bankers, and we're so objective, and it's like free reign, come one, come all, and have a healthy, respectful conversation and competition. And even on our panels, we'll have sometimes different law firms, different investment banking firms, all showing how we could be collegiate in this space, which I like a lot.
I just had this conversation. I literally, because we saw many people when we were together previously at this conference, and I talked to numerous bankers that have been part of NIBA forever, and I couldn't even name them all. Yes, and we talked about this. They have their own conference. They showcase their own clients as the presenters, their companies, and they invite their other clients, if you will, who are their financial side clients, if you will. They don't invite the other banks, like you said. They don't invite the other entities. And I can't tell you how many of them do it. And there's a reason. They're their clients, they're their investors, they're putting them together. But we are so agnostic is the term or whatever.
Yes. And this gives the entrepreneur and the company much more of a chance to build a roster, build more than one relationship. They might be having someone represent them in, let's say, their up list or an acquisition that they're doing,
Yeah.
and they're going public transaction, whatever it might be, but they're going to need investors. These guys, come on, let's face it, these companies throughout their existence, they're going to need to raise money again and again. And they could come to this home
And
base at NIBA
and
and make connections that could be lifelong.
and awareness. If it's not money, it's awareness. They're going to need both. From when
So
do you
true.
not need that? Exactly. You're going to need that your whole lifespan. And the other thing is NIBA was formed on syndication. And I know that word has gone in and out and in and out because, yes, there's banks that do it all themselves. I get it. But syndication is coming back around and people are really starting to talk about it. And one thing they did last time was had 2 tables set aside at breakfast for a syndication table. And anybody that was interested sat down and they had a whole big conversation about everything. So the other thing that I think makes NIBA very different is I'm ABC broker dealer bank. I bring this company. I bring the company for the purpose of finding a couple other people to come in the deal with us.
Absolutely.
And who does that? Frank, do you remember when NIBA used to be called RIBS? I think it was Regional Investment Banking. Was it Society?
It was Regional Investment Broker Syndicate.
Oh, see? So back then, I think that was the spirit. And I think what we're achieving is we're refreshing that spirit of it's beyond camaraderie. It's let's get the deal done. Let's help the company. And syndication is often the way to go.
Syndication is awesome, especially at the brokers in that room, because you get some pretty nice sized brokers in that room, but they're not powerhouses.
Some of them can do it all. Literally, they'll do it all. And there's starting to be a little resurgence of maybe this would be easier if we each took a piece and that kind of thing. And so that's what they're starting to talk about. And so the interesting thing is not only is there's some competition. I know there's competition because I've just heard recently that numerous presenters, companies, if you will, that are looking to do a deal, we're talking to this investment bank, and then these other 2 called and said, wait, we can do this. So you're also getting multiple offers and some competition. But at the same time, I don't really know of another place that 2 bankers are going to sit down with a company in a one-on-one meeting and discuss everything together.
I love that. I really do.
That says it all.
It's a shame
there.
it's not. Yes, it's a shame that more aren't doing it, but I guess I'm glad that they're not because that's what makes us special.
I think there's just so many things that people don't understand that make us special. And if you go back in the history, and we've had so many wonderful founders and people who started NIBA and put it together and sadly have passed, and I miss them dearly. But I remember them all talking about the fact that the way it started was there was 6 or 7 people, different parts of the country, that all had clients. They'd all call and say, hey, I want you to look at this. Hey, I want you to look at this. Hey, can you look at my deal? And then somebody said, why are we trying to do this? It was before Zoom. It was before we had any of this technology. Why are we trying to do all this on the phone? Bring your client. Let's all meet in Kansas City. 6 people, 6 companies in Kansas City. NIBA's born.
Wow.
That's how it started. It was like, let's look at everybody together. Everybody sit around this table and have some networking and have some presentations. And you know what? They told me in the beginning that deals were done on a cocktail napkin at the reception, where they would walk around and say, Paulson's going to take this, and it's going to take this, and it's going to take this. And the deal was done at the end.
Yeah.
And that's NIBA's history. And yeah.
I
mean, honestly,
I was a market maker, Emily. And people don't believe it, that we would make a market and write it on a chalkboard and change it twice a day. And people were like, what? I'm like, yeah, they would come out with the pink sheets, and we'd look at sheets and we'd have to look up the stock symbol, and they print it that day. And it was people, they don't believe it. And I'm like, and that's how deals were done.
Oh yeah.
Years ago, big time. And I'm sorry, but I just had
that's exactly what I think. That's what I love is there's not many people that I talk to that don't tell me a wonderful story that has something to do with NIBA or the history or something like that. That's honestly, I'm executive director and I'm doing social media and I'm trying to get people to register and I'm booking hotel rooms and I'm ordering meals. And at the same time, I feel like the historian at the same time.
We need a book.
We do. And it's just a family.
That is beautiful and true.
It
Beautiful and
is.
true.
I
And
mean,
it
like
feels
I
like a
said,
reunion when we're together. And what I love too is you're going to see Frank. It's going to be quite the reunion for you. You're going to know so many people in that room, but there's always an influx of new. There's always like fresh people that are just coming in because of the hard work of Emily, because of the hard work of the board. We're calling people, we're inviting people. And when we have a company that's coming in, like I'm sponsoring a few companies that are going to be presenting, I'm calling specific new people that haven't been to NIBA yet to come and see what we're all about and to hear my client present. And it's definitely a worthwhile experience for everyone in the room. And one other cool thing is the benefit of being in the room with all the service providers and the other companies while someone's presenting is people don't think of this intuitively, but if you're a CEO and you're listening to someone else's presentation, you're learning from that. You're learning, oh my God, that presentation was really compelling. I could take a page out of her book. Or, oh my God, that's a technology that we could probably do something together. There might be some arrangement where there's not necessarily an acquisition, but there might be some opportunity where we can do something together so that 1 + 1 could equal 5 or 6.
And the
And
easiest thing is they connect with business cards, they make a deal right there practically.
yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of going
I
back and
mean,
forth for,
that's what I said. We bring so many people together that I feel like if you need anything, the person is in the room
yeah.
potentially
absolutely.
to provide that service one way or another.
Yeah, people know people. And that's what we encourage. We encourage this makes me think of my aunt who has this ailment, or this makes me think of my friend who couldn't come, who really would love to hear this presentation, or my client that really needs a new auditor. And I just met this young group that is perfect for an earlier stage company that can't afford the biggest, but they need a PCAOB registered accounting firm. So yeah, it's all of that and more. And it's all wrapped up in a rather exhausting day and a half where we do whatever we can to make these connections happen and make them stick.
Yeah. And I
So
can't stress that, yes, there's tons of conferences and so forth. Truthfully, there's a lot of events, and there are events that are on this date at this place, and you go and you hope for the best and you do this and you do that. And I really feel NIBA is so different than that because of the people there, who you're going to meet, who you're going to see, the interaction. One of our sponsors who's been a repeat sponsor, but was actually new to NIBA as of like maybe 5 years ago. And I saw them at the conference we were at last week. And she made the comment talking to somebody else. And she said, "Oh, you really should go. You really should go. I can't tell you how much we love it." And she said, "We sponsor now at lots of events." And she turned and said, "But NIBA's my home."
Oh,
And that means a lot. It really does. I
I have
can't
some
tell you
great
how
ideas.
many stories I hear like that.
I have some great ideas for NIBA. Okay, Andrea, I shared it with you. It's going to be really awesome, a lot of fun. But I don't want to spill the beans right now. Let's talk about the show so we can tell everybody when, where.
It's March 11th and 12th at the Weston Beach Resort in Fort Lauderdale. You can register, book the hotel room and everything on our website. I'll give a little plug because the Weston Beach Resort is the only hotel on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. So you are right there on the beach. It's beautiful as well as a great event.
Awesome. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see the show. Can't wait to go down there. Thank you so much for coming on today, Emily. It was great talking to you and Andrea as well. And we'll see you next time on Off Road.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. I can't wait to see you and have you with us.
Can't wait to be there. Thank you, everyone. All right. Have a good day.
You
See you next
too.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.